guys, it's Amy. I'm the stress and energy expert with Pischke Health Coaching, and today I'm with Sara Makin of Makin Wellness. We're in her beautiful space today. It's her magazine feature and everything. How are you, Sara? Thanks for joining me.
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to sit down with you and to talk with you today.
Yeah, so tell me about Makin Wellness. I know we know each other, of course, but just talk a little bit more about how'd you get started and what do you do with Makin Wellness?
Yeah, well, Makin Wellness is really a dream of mine for several years. I always wanted to do something where I could help people and add value to society, and I was always interested in also having my own business and having the freedom to kind of create what type of business I wanted. And I fell in love with psychology at a very young age, and it just made sense for me to start practices. So throughout my whole journey of working in the psychological field, I learned about a lot of things that were effective, a lot of things that weren't so effective, and wanted to incorporate all the things that I saw that worked and incorporate a lot of natural and effective techniques and methods into our centers. And that's kind of how it all got started. I always thought that I would be working in the field a lot longer before I would start this up, but I was actually on a trip in New York City one day, and I just had this mission to do it right away and to not wait. And then 2 months after that, Makin Wellness, our first downtown location was open.
It was so quick. I remember you telling me that. I was like, wait a minute,
yeah.
You started? And now it's blossoming and just moving.
Yeah.
But you specialize in
comorbid mental health and addiction treatment.
Yeah.
So someone who struggles with mental health and someone who struggles with addiction is really my specialty. But addiction, anxiety, and depression are all my specialties as well.
And I love that that's what you focus on, because every time I talk to you, you're such an upbeat and happy and uplifting person, and it's just good that you're helping other people get there too. You're such a natural fit for you, it seems.
Yeah.
So you have a very traditional background though with your schooling and everything, getting psychology and your master's and everything, but you also do all this holistic work. So how did you come to integrating all that? And were you doing work with that before you started your business?
The way I came across it was I started noticing that a lot of the traditional methods weren't very effective, weren't helpful. And so that kind of inspired.
What were the traditional methods that you're talking about?
A lot of just traditional talk therapy where the client doesn't focus on changing other aspects of their life. For instance, if someone is exposed to aspartame or monosodium glutamate or high fructose corn syrup consistently on a regular basis, that can be enough for them to have some mental health symptoms come up, specifically anxiety or even bipolar disorder. So whenever I started learning about things like that, removing that from the diet as well, I was doing other things. I started seeing that was really helpful. And so I started to dig deeper and look more deep into research. One of the things I did before I started my practice is I was conducting research at Duquesne University, and I was so blessed to have access to all these different research databases, and started looking through different articles myself to see what's helpful and what isn't. And so I started to implement those within our treatment plans with the clients that I had before, saw what was helpful, saw what wasn't, and decided to keep what was helpful.
It's hard to find something out like that, like aspartame can be such a big effect on someone, and ignore it, just continue to do only one approach when you know that's could be a really important part too.
Yeah.
So, what are the other holistic type things that you integrate? So you still do some kind of talk therapy, right? What are the methods that you use?
Yeah, we use cognitive behavioral therapy, which is an evidence-based practice in conjunction with thought field therapy, or otherwise known as tapping. And we also use aromatherapy at our offices. We always have different custom-made blends diffused. We can even make those for our clients as well, for those who are interested in it, and that can be super helpful, especially to help relax people.
Yeah.
They are such an amazing tool. So we use those, as well as we have a holistic health someone who is struggling with energy, who needs to be able to get things done and be productive. So you're also an amazing resource for us, so thank you.
Now, talk a little bit more about tapping in case people don't know what tapping is, because I've been really into that side of things too. And like sometimes you just have something like subconsciously going on, and until you get past that, you can't really get to you can't really move on.
Yeah. So tapping essentially is using acupuncture pressure points while thinking about whatever it is that's distressing you to help kind of alleviate it. A lot of times, whenever we experience trauma or any type of negative event, we can kind of get stuck. We can get stuck in our bodies, and that helps to release it. And the outcomes and the success rate of that are extremely high. And it's been a really great tool. It's also really helpful for phobias, client anxieties, and different things like that as well.
And then the cognitive behavioral therapy, what's is that like the counseling part of things? Like what's
Yeah, so that's more counseling. So CBT, essentially what it is helping you change your thinking patterns to help change your life. So it helps you think more positively and kind of helping you kind of cancel out more negative thoughts and focus more energy on positive thinking. And basically, we help our clients shift from thinking negatively or whatever it is that's distressing them to helping them gradually think more and more and more positively. And whenever you start to change the way you think, that changes the way that you feel.
Yeah. And I like how you talk about like kind of like shift from going from like a negative place to a positive place, but it's not just like you snap your fingers and you're negative, positive. It's kind of like a gradual process sometimes, right? Like that's what I do too. It's like neurolinguistic programming, like the patterns in your brain are kind of programmed a certain way, used to like negativity or whatever that way of thinking is. So you get someone to change it. So over time, your new way of thinking is the positive. Is that like part of what you're doing?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's the same kind of thing. It's just you're doing it in a different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't do quantum leap where we go from very depressed to like amazingly, like incredible and joyous. But we can go from depressed to like angry.
Yeah.
And from there to content, and then you move your way up. The energy behind these different emotions is too far off. If you're if you're using like a radio in your car, you can't go from 96.1 to 100.5, but you can't scroll your way through the stations until you get to the desired station you have.
Oh, this is cool because I was just reading about exactly this. So it's like, you can't just jump from like really depressed to like feeling on top of the world. It's not like it just doesn't work that way. You have to kind of like reach the next step up, and you feel a little better, feel a little better, and it gets easier too. Like the better you feel, because obviously then you're like, okay, like let's get to that next point. So even like sometimes like we feel like you can't be angry, and like that makes us stuck because we're conditioned like okay, you can't get angry, you can't get upset, but actually like that's a better form than like depression or something. It's better to move on to that, and then from there you can find a better emotion. Like don't stifle it down and get stuck in that like low place.
Exactly.
Get to that next emotion up, and then you can keep going until you feel really good.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool because so with stress, a lot of times like some of the things what we feel are things like super overwhelmed or something, and that's kind of like it's not as bad as depressed, but it's like it's not a good high emotion.
Yeah,
so
it's like, not where you want to stay stuck at. You want to continue to move up.
Exactly. So if you're overwhelmed, it's like okay, what can I get that's like a little bit above that instead of just like I would be like fully at peace like right now. It's like well, what can you feel that's like a little bit better than overwhelmed? Like how can you kind of like start shifting up? So I think you brought that up. So I was just reading about that. I was like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense, and it does. Like changing your habits, changing your programming in your brain, it takes a little bit of time sometimes to kind of. It took a long time to get those habits. You spend a lot of times it's like we spend our whole lives like making these habits, and that's why it's such a way of being that you have to spend a little bit of time. You can't do it; it doesn't take forever, but you need to like spend time and repetition and getting up there.
Spaced repetition and knowing that it's a process.
So what are some other things that you do with your clients regarding stress? If someone's really stressed out, they come to you, like I just have way too much to do, Sarah, like I don't know how to handle it. I feel stuck, I feel like like I'm just being pulled along by work every day, like I have no control over my life, like what kind of things would you recommend someone do? Aside from like obviously working with you, like if you could give us just some kind of idea.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the biggest thing is it really depends on what the person wants and what's practical for them. So everything is like highly individualized. So we talk about like delegation, replication, changing your schedule around, as well as eating certain things to help relax. Like for instance, if someone's feeling really stressed out, bananas are a natural beta blocker, which is what anti-anxiety medications are. So if you have like 2 bananas an hour and a half before a very stressful event, or if there's a certain meeting that's really stressful, to have your bananas, or like even if you have like 1. Blueberries do something similar, but the bananas have a more powerful effect. So incorporating those that's just like one example of a dietary change and the natural things that you can do. Different teas, aromatherapy, and kind of changing the way they're viewing the event and what's going on through CBT to view it in a more positive way. And even after they have this mindset shift, that's the type of lifestyle they don't want to live anymore, then we talk about how we can change it, how we can make that happen.
That's really cool. Yeah, so this is really cool talking to you because I've talked to you obviously before, but
yeah,
like some of these things, it's really similar to what I do too. So it's like you're reframing things. So it's, okay, here's the situation. Let's take full responsibility with it and then like reframe it to like what's the positive part of this. Even if it seems like not be positive whatsoever, like what's the positive intention of like what's going on or whatever the case may be. And also, of course, just with food. I love it because our food can either build our bodies up or break them down. And so, like, we're talking about some of these things, like, they are so healing for us. And, like, what foods can we incorporate into our lives that are really going to heal us and give us, like, stress relief or relaxation or whatever thing. There are so many foods. I'm reading a book right now about, like, life-changing foods. So we eat some bananas. Yes.
Yeah. Bananas are amazing for reducing stress and helping people calm down. It's incredible. Just that one thing alone, it's really lovely.
That's really cool just to be like, okay, like I have a really stressful day ahead, I'm gonna eat some bananas, and even if it didn't work, I feel like if you feel like you have something, like part of that just mental process, like if you feel like you have something, like this is gonna help me, it just kind of gives you, like, helps you, like, all right, like I know I'm eating the bananas, like it's gonna help. Obviously it does, because like food is wonderful and so many good things about fruit and everything, but like it just gives you that kind of like feel good. Okay, I'm eating this. This is gonna help me. I love that. Okay, so how often do you see people now? Do you see people, like I usually talk to people over a stretch of time, like around 3 months, because to change his habits sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Do you usually talk to people just like one time and they're done, or like how do you work with people so you get the best results? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, everyone's so different. Sometimes I'll see someone or a couple for like a month, and then whatever issue they wanted to resolve is resolved, and they're super happy and they're on their merry way. Some people stay for a bit longer, so it's always so different. I mean, I would say perhaps the average is maybe like 3 months, 4 months, but it all depends. There's some clients that just really just love the process of like working on themselves, and it ends up becoming a journey that lasts a few years for them.
Yeah. I like that you say that too, because it is always different. Like if someone asks you like, oh well, like tell me like how I can like what's the formula? Like tell me like exactly what I need to do, and I'll just go and do it. It's like, well, yeah, you have to talk to someone a little bit more, like figure out like what exactly is stressing their lives out. Like you can't just. So it's really important that you said that, because I don't know if I even asked that. So I kind of. But everyone's a little different. Like if someone's severely depressed, or if someone else who's just kind of been like off for a while, and like doesn't understand why, like they're going to need very different things, and it's going to take a different amount of time. So I think that's really good that you brought that up. And also stress, for example, or energy, either one of them. It's like you can't give. There's so many different like foods you can eat. There's a lot of different tools. Like what I did to get over my stress and to heal my body and to get any energy again. I can tell someone to do that, but if they're completely different from me, have a different lifestyle, different so many different things, it might not work for them. It's just like you have to figure out like what's going on with their life, and then it's all like customizing it around them.
Yeah, exactly. And then
No one
that's
size fits all.
yeah, that's the most effective treatment whenever it's individualized and specifically tailored for that person. Because then they'll actually do it, you know.
Yeah.
Versus like this is the cookie cutter treatment for, you know, depression or for stress or for anxiety or for whatever it may be. And it's not, I mean, it can be effective for some people, but it's not the best way to go about things clinically.
Yeah, and I feel like when you look at someone's life and they know that, and they know, like, she knows, like, exactly what's going on in my lifestyle, what I'm eating, what I'm doing, like, she's made this specifically for me, they're going to have a lot more faith in it that, yeah, this is for me. It's, like, especially formulated, like, this is my plan. And that's really, like, encouraging just to know that. And also, I mean, with health coaching, like, we specifically ask people, like, we kind of help them with our like coaching sequences to help them break down what's gonna work for them, and not just be like, do this and like come back and tell me how that went. Like, it's kind of working with them so they can kind of see, okay, like I think I could do this maybe this many times a week. Like, even if it's just like a small step, if that's all that they can handle at that time, like awesome, that's great. Like, what you can come up with yourself, and coaching helps you kind of figure it out for yourself, and we help guide them at the same time and encourage their process so that it's not just giving advice.
Yeah. Because who wants to come and like just be forced like advice down their throats? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, tell me a little bit more about how. So you said like from the very beginning you were into this field. Like, how did you? Yeah. So how did you get into it? I mean, even like as a kid, you were telling me like you used to just.
Yeah, I was just like Lucy from Charlie Brown. She had way more business sense than I did because she actually charged her clients. I didn't, and I did it all for free for so long.
Yeah, so how did you get it? Is it just something that you kind of always, like, you're always trying to help people? And
yeah, it was just like such an innate thing. Like, it was just like on the playground, like, I swear, like my classmates would like come talk to me, like, it would be like, parents are going through a divorce, like, I'm not getting along with my sister, all these different things, and then it evolved to like phone counseling. Like, wow, yeah, it's like, you know, they would like call me like after school and stuff, and I would get in so much trouble from my parents. I remember this because they would always say, Sarah, oh my gosh, you're always on the phone. And they didn't realize that, like, what my intent was.
They didn't know you were already practicing therapy.
Yeah, they didn't know,
It's like a kid.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So your business, like your own practice, because it's kind of just like exploded. You started it up and it exploded, but actually, like, you've really been doing this your whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you were always pretty much acting as like a counselor to friends and kids on the playground and people. That's really cool. So you just have like, there's something about you, your energy or whatever, that like drew people to you, and they kind of knew they could tell you about their problems and stuff. So it seemed.
Yeah, and even like now, like I swear, like if I like go out or just even in the elevator, it's just really interesting. Like, it's always been something that I've experienced, just people open up to me so fast. You know, I feel like, you know, everyone has different gifts and different talents, and it's just kind of like a talent to some people, just people. I even like remember this one time where I was in college, I was working in retail, and this lady came in, really talking, and turned into a counseling session. She was talking about her father just died, and she doesn't know what to do, and like, it's, you know, it's just really interesting. Like, it was just always so clear, so evident, like, what I was needing to do.
That's so good. So it's not just like a natural thing, like when you went to college, it was like psychology, right, for your undergrad?
Yeah.
It's like a natural progression.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make this thing like official then.
Yeah. Let's get the papers to support everything else, right?
That's really cool. Well, thanks so much for talking with me today. I think you are such an easy person just to talk to. Like, I can definitely see you just going into your office and sitting down, like, okay, Sarah. Like, if you had something to just like open up and talk to you, and you do have like a very uplifting thing. I know, like, whenever I've been coached or like coaching with someone else, it's just like a nice place to like get everything off your chest and like to just really open up to someone. You want to have that trust and feel with someone. That's obviously so easy to do with you. It makes some people sense.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Welcome. So again, this was Sara Makin with Makin Wellness. And I'm Amy with Pischke Health Coaching. If you like this interview, you can subscribe on my YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!